Alright, so it is currently midday in Australia. This is literally the harshest sun you'll get, as bright as it'll get. And then this is the Forza 60B. Whoa! Like, that is insanely bright. How's it going, guys? My name is Andrew Murphy from Down Under in Gold Coast, Australia. So this is the Nanlite Forza 60B, and honestly, I don't understand what kind of like Harry Potter wizardry shiz has gone into making this thing, because like, look how tiny it is in comparison to the actual power that it puts out. Like, it's just absolutely insane. Like, I don't know, it just absolutely blows my mind that something this small can output this much power. The Forza 60B is a 60 watt bi-coloured COB light that has a colour temperature range from 2700 to 6500 Kelvin, a CRI of 96, and a TLCI of 98. It utilises a mini Bowen's mount, which I'll touch on a little bit later. Comes in a tiny metal construction body, has 12 built-in effects, and only weighs 800 grams. Now, the main difference that you'll notice about the Forza 60B in comparison to, say, like the Forza 60 is that colour temperature range adjustability. So this means that you no longer need to basically apply gels to colour your light if you actually require it to be a different color, and this honestly saves so much time when you're shooting, especially if you are a like single or just a solo shooter. Now, depending on the scene that you're actually trying to recreate, you could require like cool moonlight or warm golden hour light, and literally, like, to be able to swap between those two options within seconds. Like, it literally takes a second to do that, rather than having to swap gels and figure out the exact amount of gels that you need, all that kind of stuff. However, the downside of being bi-colored is that you do lose some light output because it has to split the COB chips to be both cool and warm. Or do you lose output? So technically it should lose the light, but if we actually jump into some side-by-side comparisons, then we can see that at 5600 Kelvin, the Forza 60 is only fractionally brighter than the Forza 60B, which honestly really impressed me. And I thought that for sure you'd be able to see a massive difference, but it actually keeps up really, really good. But now if we were to throw some gels on to get the color temperatures to match what the Forza 60B offers, like, I actually can't believe this, because the Forza 60B is brighter than if you were to put gels on the Forza 60 to convert the color temperature. Plus the fact that if you're actually changing the color temperature on the 60B, it's basically instant. Like, you just change the dial and it's done. Whereas on the Forza 60, and again, comparing with a quarter CTB to try get it up to that 6500 Kelvin temperature range, honestly, this is mind-blowing. So I guess if you are planning to basically adjust your color temperature on this light, then hands down get the 60B rather than using a Forza 60 with gels. But if you're only going to use it at 5600 Kelvin and not change the color whatsoever, then you will get a slightly more output on the Forza 60. Now, fan noise is a huge thing that people want to know about, and to be honest, in a dead quiet room, it is a bit noticeable, but there are so many ways to actually like rig up your audio to minimize picking up fan noise. Plus, if you actually want it to be dead quiet, you can actually turn the fan off altogether, which is really, really cool. It'll just like limit your total brightness or total output to 30%. Alright, so you never actually have your mic this close to your camera, but I basically leveled this mic to be level with my voice. So now this is with the fan off. And then if I was to turn the fan on, this is the fan on. So definitely is quite noticeable at this range, but if you set up your mic right, then you shouldn't really have that many issues. Now, something I would love to see is, say, like an auto off feature. So basically, like, if you turned it down to 30%, the fan would automatically turn off, because like when the light is dimmed to 0%, the fan is still spinning at full speed. And actually, on a recent shoot, we were outdoors and I was using it handheld with the Fresnel lens, and I just put it down on the ground to kind of like help Jason with his camera. And because it was in long grass, it just started munching up the grass, and I didn't even think about like the fan still spinning. And obviously, because it's got the grass just went straight in and started like smashing it up. But luckily, it was actually okay. I managed to get it all out. But yeah, that's something that I wish, basically when you turn it down to 0, it would cool down and then turn off the fan. Now looking at the design, it's basically the go-to Nanlite metal and carbon fiber design, which I think looks really nice, and it feels super solid and professional as well. And again, how they've managed to cram so much tech into such a small body, honestly, it is beyond me. It has a single swivel mount on one side, and to be honest, this isn't the best design of all the lights that they've actually made. I wish that they had the actual, like, kind of like that rosette mount where it would actually like grip in when you lock it down. I have noticed that when you add accessories onto the front, it can get a little front heavy and it kind of slips a little bit. We have to like really crank it down to get it to hold those heavy front accessories. One thing you'll notice but is that this has a mini Bowen style mount, which again is one of those reasons that Nanlite has been able to actually make this product so freaking small. And honestly, at first I was kind of like, oh, this is annoying, but it's not actually that big a deal because you can adapt from a mini Bowens to a standard Bowens, and in the kit they actually give you the adapter like plate as well. So there really isn't a reason why you'd need a large Bowens mount. And the cool thing as well is that Nanlite has actually offered their smaller accessories for the Forza 60 that has that mini Bowens mount. And they've actually included a full-size Bowens mount in there as well that you can just swap out. So say if you want to use the small 60cm softbox and you want to use it on, say, the Forza 300B, which I actually recently did on a shoot, just because we were limited by space and I didn't need a big 120m parabolic softbox, you can easily do that and it works really good. But honestly, like, there's a ton of accessories for these little lights. I've got the Fresnel FL11 lens, and that honestly would be my #1 accessory that you'd have to get with this light, because it basically, like, I think it like quadruples or something the output of the light. It spots it down, so it's not as wide a beam, but honestly, it is just so freaking bright with this Fresnel lens on. Plus, the main modifier that I'm actually using right now in my studio with the Forza 60 is the 60cm lantern. I just like what a lantern light actually kind of looks like. You can control it very nice. It's really soft. And I love lanterns in just like general shooting environments, especially when you need to shoot, say, like 2 or 3 people around a table, or even just 2 people facing each other. You can get away with just a single light source and get beautiful light on them without having to do much, really. But if you actually want to learn more about using lanterns, I have done a full tutorial. I'll link it up here. This is what I've done so I'll link it up here so you can go check it out. And yeah, that was actually using the Forza 300B, but same sort of principles apply to using a lantern. Now, the interface of the Forza 60B definitely isn't the best one that Nanlite has designed. The left knob will actually operate the brightness, and if you click it in, it will then switch to the color temperature, and then you can adjust it from there. And then the right knob will adjust the FX and the other settings and stuff in the menus. But if you've used any of Nanlite's other bi-colored lights, you'll know that both the knobs actually adjust like the brightness and then the actual Kelvin, whereas this one's slightly different. So if you're coming from that, a lot of the time you'll go to adjust the right knob to adjust the color temperature, and then you get some strobing effects going on because that will actually adjust the effects. Now, as for the effects, you get these standard 12 that come in basically included with all the Nanlite products, and they're actually super handy as well. And I actually used the storm effect and the TV effect on a recent commercial to basically simulate like a stormy, rainy environment, and also a TV environment as well. And honestly, it works perfectly. Like, it looks so freaking good. Now, real quick, the bags from Nanlite, my god, like, I'll continue to say this in every single Nanlite review that I do. They're just so good, and everyone that I actually show Nanlite products to, they're like, man, this bag is like legit. Like, it's actually so impressive. And as well, it's the first thing that you see when you actually get introduced to a Nanlite product, so why not make it as good as possible? Also included in the bag is this Mpf Battery Handle, which basically takes the already amazing light and makes it honestly like one of the best investments you'll make in 2021. Being able to battery power this light off super cheap batteries such as Mpf's is freaking amazing. And I know a lot of people like might not want to invest in V-Lock batteries, which like is fine. Like, if you don't want to invest in V-Lock batteries, Mpf's still work just fine. But basically, off 2 Mpf 970s on this battery handle, you should get technically about an hour and a half of runtime at full power, maybe a little bit less. But if you do want to use V-Lock batteries as well, then they have the exact same handle, but it just has a V-Lock mount. Doesn't come included in the kit, but you can buy it. It's like $15 or something extra. So if you are going to use V-Lock batteries, definitely recommend that handle. Now, I'll be honest, the Forza 60B with the Fresnel lens and a V-Lock battery handle grip is basically with me everywhere I go, mainly because It's so super duper small. It doesn't take up much space. Like, it's super versatile. It's bi-colored, so you can basically simulate nearly any sort of light. And with that Fresnel lens as well, it's bright enough to basically overpower the sun in certain situations. So whenever Jason and I actually go out just shooting content for YouTube, I always have it on me, just whip it out when we need a little bit of extra light. Super duper handy. Now, as for price, the Forza 60B by itself will set you back $339 US, which for a 60 watt light might seem a little bit pricey. But honestly, this is no ordinary 60 watt light, and it's worth every single cent if you are going to invest in this in 2021, or in 2022, whenever you're watching this video. As for accessories as well, the FL level Fresnel lens will cost you $79 US, and that 60 centimeter softbox will be $119, or the lantern that I'm using right now is about $85 US. And if you do want to pick up some of these lights and accessories and also help support this channel as well, I'll leave some links down below in the description so you can learn more about the products and pick them up for yourself. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this review, then consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, stay tuned for more content just like this. I got a ton coming up in the future. Otherwise, stay creative and just be you. Have fun. What is this? I don't know what this is. Anyway, have fun.